it's Christy. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to day 6 of my 2018 Valentine Card Series. Today I'm going to be using the Roar stamp set from Lawn Fawn, as well as the How You Been Conversation Heart add-on and the Valentine 6x6 paper pad by American Crafts. I've stamped my images on some Copic friendly cardstock with Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and I'm going to be coloring with my Copic markers today. I wanted to do the hearts in different shades of pinks and red, so I'm just selecting a few of these to do with this color combo. This is RV21, RV23, and RV25. And I'm laying in my shadows first with that RV25 and making sure to put them where any other hearts might be overlapping. Then I'm blending out that edge with the RV23, and actually the one on the far right I'm going to go ahead and finish with the RV23 because it's really covered by the hearts around it and it would definitely have a lot more shadow. There wouldn't really be any highlight on that one. The other 3 hearts I'll finish with the RV21, just making sure to really go over the edge of that RV23 and soften that up so that there are no harsh lines remaining. The next color combo that I'm using is RV00 and RV02, and I wanted these hearts to be really soft. That's why I'm only using the 2 shades. The RV04 was a little bit too bright. So I'm just really going over that edge with the RV02, laying in those shadows and carrying it out a bit farther than I normally would so that I can blend it with the RV00 and almost make it look as if there's still 3 shades. And then just really softening and doing it very lightly on the highlighted areas. I went to go over the edge once again with that RV02 and just add an extra layer, and you can see that my marker leaked. It's a brand new marker. I just picked it up last weekend and it must be just a little too full. So I blotted that up with a paper towel as best I could and added just a dab of that to the other 2 hearts so that they would look the same, and then just blended that out with the RV00. I'm a big believer in trying to salvage a project and not giving up, so I'm going to continue on, and I actually needed 1 more of these lighter hearts, so I just took off the caps on both ends to try to equalize the fluid inside and hopefully eliminate any more dripping, and colored in my last heart up at the top there just like that. And I just left the cap off for a little while after that to kind of let that dry up a bit. Let some of the ink evaporate and, you know, hopefully not have any issues with that marker anymore. My last color combination for the hearts is R29, R39, and R59. If you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you know this is my favorite red combo. I just love the way it looks. So I'm starting with that R59 for my shadows, and luckily I'm able to cover completely over that little bleed through that I had with the other marker. Since the red is much darker, you won't even be able to see it in the end. And then I'm blending out with the R39 and finishing everything up with the R29, which is that nice bold bright red that I love so much. It really looks great with the other 2 shades for contrast. For the little dinosaur, I'm using some blue greens. I'm using BG10, BG11, BG13, and BG15. And I'm starting with that BG15 and once again laying in my shadows. So the bottom of his tail, where it's kind of touching the ground, there would be shadowed, and behind his legs, all along the outside edge of his body is going to be a little bit darker, and that's going to help it look a little bit more rounded. And then I gave him a little bit of a shadow right on his snout as well. Then I'm just blending out with the BG13, which I always get confused because that cap is darker than the BG15, but it is actually a lighter shade. And then I'm going to finish up the rest of the main part of his body with that BG11. I'm just being really careful to go over the edges of the BG13 since there is quite a bit of difference between those two shades. I really wanted him to stay nice and soft for today's card. I do tend to color with a lot of contrast and I like that look, but I've been wanting to try doing something just a little bit softer, so I left the majority of his body for the BG11, and then I'll use the BG10 to just color in his belly. I'm going back to my R29 to color in the scales that run down his back, and I'm just using the one shade since they're super small. And now that he's dried, I'm going to go back in with my darker shades and add a little bit of dot detail. It's going to give him some personality and also make him look a little bit scaly like a dinosaur would be. To give him a rosy cheek, I went back to my RV21, and I'm actually making 4 cards today, so I just colored 3 more of these sheets off camera. And I made each of the dinosaurs a little bit different. So I've got 4 pieces of white cardstock trimmed down for my focal panels, and I'm going to put those in my MISTI and stamp my sentiment. There are 3 lines in this sentiment, so I'm going to do the first and last line in black ink. I'm just using my Memento Tuxedo Black again for that. And then I'm going to take the middle line, which says I love you, and I'm going to stamp that in Lawn Fawn's Lobster ink. While I have my MISTI out, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the inside of my card, and for that I'm switching to bubblegum. And I stamped out the little dinosaur and the heart that comes in his set, as well as the Happy Valentine's Day sentiment from the Conversation Hearts set. I'm going to assemble my focal panels by adding my images over top with some Tombow Mono Multi-Glue. And I'm just adding the heap of hearts to the bottom, and then I'll have the dinosaur looking like he's climbing on top. I'll add a dab of glue and then put down the little roar speech bubble that comes in his set, and then I'll add the little conversation heart into his hands. And there's a look at all 4 of those all finished up. I put a different message on each of the conversation hearts, and I also colored the arrangement of hearts just a little bit different on each one. So I've got 4 sheets of pattern paper and 4 pieces of red cardstock trimmed down using the Lawn Fawn Scalloped Rectangle Stackables, the Lawn Fawn Outside In Stitch Rectangle Stackables, and I used the Stitch Rectangle Stackables for my focal panel as well. So now that I have all my pieces together, I can start assembling. I'm going to start with a layer of the red cardstock, and I'm going to add that down to my card base, which is Lawn Fawn's Ballet Slippers cardstock, scored and folded to a standard A2 size card. So it is 4 1/4 wide by 5 1/2 tall. Then I'm going to add a layer of the pattern paper, that nice scalloped edge that's going to really pop against the red cardstock. And then I'm going to add my focal panel right over top. I'm just making sure to get everything lined up nice and straight. To finish up my cards, I'm going to take a black Sakura Jelly Roll pen, and I'm just going to color over the little dinosaur's eye. That just makes them nice and bright, and I think it's a fun detail to kind of bring them back to life again. So that's going to complete today's cards. There was another peek at the inside. All of these went to the Cards from the Heart card drive benefiting St. Jude's Children's Hospital, and the deadline is the 31st, so please get your cards mailed in if you're participating. I will be continuing this series right up until Valentine's Day and just stockpiling the cards for next year. So if you didn't get a chance to join in, maybe you can do it that way. Here's 2 extra cards from day 6 of the previous 2 years of Valentine Card Series, so hopefully those will keep you inspired until the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please give it a big thumbs up if you did, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that already. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.